Hello everyone and welcome to this week's ICE commentary on the dollar index. My name's Travis McKenzie from Trader Precision and I'll be filling in for Nick McDonald this week. Let's first have a look at the weekly chart. Now you'll remember last week Nick was looking at this key level of 77, which has held quite strong in the past. What we're looking at was this rejection candle here. So price had broken down through that 77 level, had then retraced back up and was managed to break up through the top side of it. However, it wasn't able to hold and it was rejected off these highs and ended the week pretty much sitting exactly on 77. Now, what Nick was talking about here was saying the low of this weekly candle, so the low there was at 76.67. If that was broken to the downside, he could see some real dollar index weakness coming in there. However, that wasn't to be. Price held pretty much exactly on 77 and rallied quite hard throughout the whole week and ended with quite a bullish candle. If we have a look to see what happened on the daily chart, you can see this was Friday's candle here, this big red candle here. And as I said, it just sort of touched on 77 and bounced off it ever so slightly. On Monday, it opened pretty much exactly on 77 and rallied hard for the whole day. Now that set the sort of precedent for the rest of the week. Not only was it able to push off these lows, but it was able to break this key level at 78, push up through it, and then on Friday, retraced back and tested that level at 78, and however, found good support off it and rejected off that. So it ended Friday with a reasonably bullish rejection candle off that 78 key level. Now, a couple of things I'm looking at now. When I look at the trend here, we've clearly put in now a series of higher lows. If we can break up through the high of this candle throughout next week, we would have put in even another higher low there. We've also put in a series of higher highs. So under the definitions of a trend, we're clearly in an uptrend now. Another thing I quite like here is you can see these moving averages are starting to all fan out with space in between them. It's often an indication of the start of a trend and potentially a trend with some strength. So what I'm looking for this week is a break. If we can break above the high of this candle, so the high there is 78.56. Break above 78.56, I'll be looking for moves to trade this up towards this next key level of 80. So based on that, let's go and have a look at some of these other key currencies that make up the dollar index and see if they're backing up what I'm seeing there from that chart. Now on the Aussie dollar, there was this key level at 1.02 where last week it retraced down to test it and found support and resulted in quite a bullish rejection candle. Unfortunately, we weren't able to break the highs of that candle and it pretty much sold off the entire week and ended up with a fairly strong bearish candle there. If we look at the daily chart, what we're seeing here is a number of lower lows and lower highs. So we're clearly in a downtrend on that daily chart. And also with the daily chart, you can see that these averages fanning out. All four of them are all starting to fan out. Right now, it's sitting at parity. So it will be interesting to see if this can hold parity, maybe retrace up, find some further support off this key level at 1.01 or 1.02 really, and roll back over and retest parity, or if it just breaks on through parity and continues down. But I reckon that Aussie dollar is definitely backing up what we're seeing there with the dollar index. With the euro, very similar story to the Aussie. It was sitting at a key level that was really pivotal for last week, but unfortunately wasn't able to continue on with its bullish run. So we were looking at this key level here at 1.35 essentially. It had rejected off that last week. We were looking for a break above these highs. It wasn't to be and sold off quite bearishly. Right now it's sitting back at that key level, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes into the start of next week. But looking at the daily, clearly putting in a series of lower highs and lower lows, so we're in a downtrend, but sitting at that key pivotal level at 1.35. Now, looking at the pound was another one that was at a key level. It was at 1.6, we can see here, 1.6 thousand. We'd rejected off it quite a few times over the last couple of weeks, and we're looking for a break above this to push higher to have a bullish move there. Once again, didn't get that. Those highs weren't broken, and a bearish week prevailed. Now looking at the daily charts, putting in a series of lower lows and lower highs, also ending the week on a fairly bearish rejection candle there. So I think those three currency pairs are definitely backing up what we're seeing in this dollar strength coming into the market. And I'm not, and as what Nick was saying last week, it was at a very pivotal point where it could have gone either way. From what I'm seeing right now, I personally think that we could see some dollar strength coming into it next week, provided we can break this high. If we can break this weekly high of 78.56, I think we can see a move higher up, anywhere up towards this 80 region, and hopefully there should be some good trading opportunities to trade that long. One thing I will mention though, it is a public holiday, or Thanksgiving I should say really, in America on Thursday, so do bear that in mind because it's going to affect the trading hours. So you can see here for the US dollar index on Thursday the 24th, we're going to have an early close at 1 p.m. That's New York time or Eastern time, and then on Friday the 25th there's also going to be an early closing time of 1:15 p.m. New York or Eastern time. So do bear that in mind. The volumes on Thursday and Friday may be reasonably low, therefore there may be a bit more volatility than normal. So just bear that in mind with your trading. So I hope that helps everyone. For those in America, have a fantastic Thanksgiving, and I look forward to speaking to you all sometime soon.